Hey everyone, my name is Chloe and today I'm here to talk about my August reading. So if you haven't seen one of these videos, what I'm going to do is talk about all the stats that I keep because I'm definitely a stats nerd, and I'm also going to talk about my favorites for the month. And there are definitely 5 standout favorites. I always try to pick 5, and sometimes I'm like stretching to pick 5, and sometimes there's more than 5, but generally lately anyway, there have not been 5, and today there's definitely 5. So let's just get into the stats, and I will also tell you where I'm at with my numbers as far as my physical TBR, because my goal, I started the year at like 370 something books unread on my physical TBR, and my goal is to get my stretch goal, truthfully, is to get to 300 by the end of the year. And I've like hovered around the same number all year, but last month was a big down. And I don't know which you'll see first, this or my August in and out, but I hauled a lot of books this month. So I will tell you that part at the end. So let's get into the stats. I read 31 books and DNF'd 1 in the month of August. So that is awesome. It's 9,057 pages, which is 292 pages per day. My average page length was just under 300 pages per book. So this counts both middle grade and adult books. And it was about a book per day. I read 6 with my kids and 25 by myself. 18 were novels, 7 were chapter books, 5 were graphic novels, and 1 was a book told in verse. So again, that's how those numbers get so inflated, is the chapter books I read with my kids or pre-reading for my daughter, the graphic novels, the books in verse. 18 were just regular novels. Then I read 17 were adult, 1 was new adult, which is not something I read often, and 1 was young adult, and 12 were middle grade. So again, that kind of inflates those numbers. 20 of them were from my shelf, and 11 were from somewhere else. So 20 books read off my shelf. I think this will come out first. So if my number still goes up, you'll know I hauled a significant amount. But I read 14 using Libby, 6 from the library, 5 just off my shelf, 2 using Spotify, 2 using Libro FM, and 2 using NetGalley. So this is why I'm feeling slumpy. Wait for it. We have 13 audio, 11 physical, and 7 ebook. So if you put together the physical and the ebook, the eyeball reading, that's 18 books that I read with my eyeballs and 13 that I read with my ears. Now with ebooks, you can kind of go back and forth because you can have Alexa read to you, but that's a lot of eyeball reading for me in a month, and a lot, like the ebooks are easier, but it's a lot of eyeball reading. And I was feeling obligated because of my book haul revisit, which I will link down below if you haven't seen, but it's a lot. I read 9 new releases and 22 backlist. And then for my genres that I keep on my spreadsheet, I read 10 contemporary, 5 women's fiction, 5 mystery thriller, 4 romance, 4 nonfiction, 2 magical realism, 1 historical, and 1 nature, which nature is something that like has an animal main character. You almost always middle grade. For Storygraph, my moods were emotional by a margin, and then followed by lighthearted, hopeful, reflective, mysterious, and funny. So that's an interesting thing. I was trying to pull myself out. And the Storygraph pacing, I think I have discovered through Storygraph that the pacing definitely matters in a book for me. And according to Storygraph, I read 53%, I think, fast-paced, and then, or 43%, and medium 39%, and slow 17%. So the majority being fast reads. It shouldn't be that slumpy of a month, but I think the format really got me. Then star ratings. I had 1 DNF, 1 star, which my kids were helping me prep this video, and they were like, Mom, you never do 1 stars. And I did. 5 2.5 stars, 4 3 stars, 13 3.5 stars, 5 4 stars, and 3 4.5 stars. 3 4.5 stars. So 4.5 star for me is like probably a normal person's 5 star, but for me, 5 stars are all-time favorites. So 3 4.5 stars is great. My average was 3.37 on Storygraph. I do not include the things I read with my kids, and so that was 3.44. So still lower than I would like it to be. But let's talk about the best books. So I should pull them all off my shelf, but today is Labor Day, and we are doing bookshelf reorganization galore, because we have a ton of bookshelves in our guest room, a ton in my closet, and then a ton right here. And we are just needing to reorganize things. And so that's what we're doing. So I'm not going to get any more books out than I need to. But the first one is The Favorites by Lynn Fargo. So I read this for my 5-star prediction video, which I will also link down below. I always say that, and then I sometimes forget to do it. So if I didn't, yell at me in the comments. But 5-star prediction. This one was just a soap opera. It was juicy. It's about figure skaters who have a romantic relationship, and then they don't, and then they do, and then they don't, and there's drama, and there's like, I had this looming feeling the whole time that somebody was going to die that made like tension. It was just such a soap opera, and I enjoyed it. Then we have Healing Rest, an invitation for mamas who carry so much to lean into the arms of the one who holds it all by Becky Thompson. So it's a mouthful, but Becky Thompson writes these like Christian living for women books. I don't know. This one was just, I have a really hard time with rest. As you guys may know, I'm a little high strung, a little high energy, and just like resting is very, very hard for me. And especially homeschooling and all of that, it's like, I feel like I have to make so many decisions every day, and just the whole weight of the world can feel on my shoulders at times. And that's not the case. And so this reminder was so kind and gentle and just exactly what I needed. Then we have The Lifeless by Lori Nelson Spielman. And this is a book about a woman who, her mother dies, and she works for her family's company, all of that. And her mom dies, and her mom's like, hey, you got to go somewhere else. You can't keep working here. And you've got to do this bucket list of things that you wrote in your journal when you were 14 years old. And so, of course, there's some that are changed that no longer apply that now that she's a 30-something-year-old woman. But she is trying to fulfill these things. And at first, she is very not into it. You know, she's like, gosh, this is tough love. And I just think about that, like, especially in regards to our Heavenly Father, and how, like, there are things that He leads you to or guides you to, or doors that He shuts that you're like, goodness, this is tough love. And you just trust because He loves you that it's the ultimate good. And this is kind of what this book was about, trusting her mom that her mom knew what was best even when she didn't believe it. And it was emotional. I haven't related to a character like I related to that main character in a long time, so it was really good. Then we have Come Back to Me by Mila Gray. You guys, this one is my new adult, and it got me. The prologue is or maybe it's the first chapter, I don't know. It is this girl. She is a 18-year-old girl, and her brother and her boyfriend are both deployed. And the Army chaplain, or I think they're Marines. The chaplain comes to the front door, and she knows it's not good. She knows something has happened to one of them, and we don't know which one until 2/3 of the way in. We follow her falling in love with her boyfriend, and just get to learn more about their past. And this one like hurt me. It hurt me. It made me feel like I just wanted to stop everything, sit in a corner and cry. And yet it was so good. There is, I will say, fair warning, things happen quickly. Like, they fall in love in 3 months. You know, things happen really quickly, but it's a first love, a young love. They go through a lot of trauma together, and I was all there for it. Then last, we have The Summer We Ran by Audrey Ingram, which is the most beautiful cover in the whole world. And this is about two people who are running for governor, and they used to be high school sweethearts. And so they have not seen each other since. They're both married with other people, and we get the then and now timeline. So we get all the things that happened. Again, they both experienced trauma as teenagers, and just how that bonds you to people. And that first love, like first love, second chance is my favorite trope. You guys will always know it. And my kids are playing soccer right here. I gave them jobs to do. I gave them activities, and they're always right here. So thank you for hanging through all the background noise. But we see then and now. Now, if they're both married and there are rekindled feelings, the way that worked out didn't bother me a whole lot. But if it bothers you, because I felt like it was okay, but if you are wary about that, beware. There's also a lot of triggers around motherhood and all of that kind of stuff, so beware. If you want to know specifics, let me know down below, or message me on Instagram box or somewhere, and I will tell you specifics. But yeah, it was a good one. It was another emotional gut punch. Yeah, it was a good one. So that is everything that I read in August. Now let's update you on the TBR thing. So I started the month of August with 363 books on my shelf. I was down a whole bunch last month. Well, you guys, this month it's up. It's up, but it's only up 4. So we're at 367. Now, that's 67 books in September, October, November, December. 4 months. It's doable. Will I do it? It's getting like more and more and more of a stretch. Not that I won't read 67 books off my shelf. That feels possible, but that I will not haul anything or very much. We'll see. We'll see. So root me on. Again, you guys are so great at that. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.